Most of you aren't subscribed. Make sure to subscribe, as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, the season follows several idol girls, masterfully entertaining the crowd, but zooming out, we see our MC wishing that he would have attended her concert. Our MC notes how the idol group B Kamachi houses the 16-year-old I along with 6 others, a group that blew up only after 4 years since their debut. Suddenly, a nurse turns on the room's light, scolding our MC for using a patient's room for their television, revealing our MC to be a doctor. Getting serious, our MC declares that watching something beautiful is great for one's health, depressed upon remembering that he's currently stationed in the countryside, but the nurse cuts the doctor off, revealing some bad news. Seeing that I has announced that she'll be taking some time off from her idol career, our MC sheds tears, feeling bad for the poor girl. When the nurse accuses our MC of being a lolicon, our MC reveals that back when he was still training to be a doctor, he ran into a special someone at this exact hospital. Sitting by a sick girl, Serena, our MC watches as Serena excitedly watches the Kamachi idol group perform, loving I in particular since I is the same age as Serena. When Serena voices that she wants to be reborn as beautiful as I, our MC shoots down Serena's silly dreams, but Serena asks if our MC could at least imagine a new life as an idol's child. Not wanting Serena to be fixated on her fantasies, our MC reminds Serena that she has the looks to become an idol herself, promising to support her all the way, which Serena is grateful for. Sadly, Serena passed away soon after at the age of 12, but our MC knows that if Serena was still alive, she would have been 16 just like I. Our MC notes how he probably is following I all because Serena loved I, but the nurse accuses our MC of having other dark thoughts, asking our MC if he would still date I if she offered. Refusing to answer, they head off to lunch. Afterwards, our MC heads in to check on a patient, Hoshino, who is 20 weeks out since her pregnancy but it's her first time being examined. Wondering if the girl has had a sad life, our MC asks if the yellow-haired man beside him is her father, but the man states that Hoshino grew up in a children's home and that he's simply her guarantor. Realizing that Hoshino's backstory sounds familiar, our MC realizes that his favorite idol I is sitting right before him, heading out to prepare the tools to examine her pregnancy. Outside the room, our MC fangirls over the thought of getting to see I in person, but gets sick realizing that she is now pregnant. Eavesdropping on the man and I, the man seems to be the president of her agency, demanding to know who got I pregnant, but I refuses to answer. After some examinations, our MC confirms that I is 20 weeks pregnant with twins, exciting I, but the man reminds I that both their careers are over if she gives birth. Conflicted, I asks for our MC's professional opinion, but our MC says that I should take some time and really think about her final decision. Out in the waiting area, our MC overhears some patients adoring another idol that had recently gotten married, but the patients wonder if they can truly keep supporting an idol who has a husband and kids. Out on the balcony, our MC promises to support I forever, but does admit that I's career will plummet once she announces her pregnancy, asking the photo on his phone screen if she agrees as well. Out of nowhere, I appears, admiring how beautiful the scenery is. Our MC asks if I chose a remote place like his hospital to avoid her fans in Tokyo, surprising I as she wonders how our MC knows she's an idol, but our MC simply states he used to have a patient that loved I. Our MC takes the chance to ask if I is going to give up her idol career, but I declares that she's never had a family, hoping to live a happy life with her twins, but also continue being an idol. Smirking, I plans to keep her children a secret for as long as possible, but I does admit that she is being greedy, wanting to enjoy the spoils of being a mother and idol. Infatuated by I's determination, our MC agrees to support I all the way, first by recommending that I use an alias whilst staying at the hospital. Next, our MC asks if I is fine with any delivery method, confirming that I can handle a natural delivery even if it's painful. For the next few weeks, our MC ensures that I undergoes proper exercise for her upcoming delivery, cutting to 20 weeks later when I is finally ready to give birth. I asks that our MC return as soon as she calls, something our MC promises, only to leave for the night. As our MC walks home, he thinks about how sad it is that he won't get to spend more time with I, but is relieved to hear that I will have a happy future. Suddenly hearing a voice, our MC turns around, hearing a person ask if our MC is the doctor looking after I. Knowing that I is under an alias, our MC demands to know how the person figured out I is at his hospital, chasing after the stalker in fear that they may harm I. Having made it to a cliff, our MC loses sight of the stalker, suddenly shoved off the cliff by the mysterious person. Barely breathing, our MC struggles to move, fearing that he'll break his promise to I, but our MC's vision slowly begins to fade. As I goes into labor, Our MC remembers Serena's dream of wanting to be reborn as an idol child, but as our MC begins wishing the same thought, we see the stalker stand over our MC. Cutting to I, we see she has successfully delivered her twins, but as some time passes by, it's revealed that MC has been reborn as I's son, given the name Aquamarine Hoshino. Although Aquamarine is still in shock that he has memories of his previous doctor life, Aquamarine accepts his new life, especially since he gets to stay by I and not have to work all day. Just then I heads to her baby girl, Ruby Hoshino, someone that Aquamarine is jealous of as Ruby has a more simple life than his. As I mistakes Ruby for Aqua, her agency president appears, scolding I for easily forgetting people's names, revealed to be Ichigo Saito, the president of Strawberry Productions. Ichigo declares that they'll be preparing for I's comeback, asking that I head to the music program later tonight, and Ichigo's wife, Miyako Saito, will look after I's children. I voices how weird it is that Ichigo married such a young woman, asking if she can bring Aqua and Ruby to the recording studio with her, but Ichigo states that I is to not bring her children anywhere public. Ichigo reminds I that all their careers are at stake, and that I is to declare Aqua and Ruby as Ichigo and Miyako's children if asked. Glad to see that the president and his wife are ready to cover for I clumsily almost flashes Ichigo, but luckily Aqua had prevented it from happening. With I heading to work, Miyako is seen slumped on the couch, mad that she's stuck taking care of children, but Aqua takes the chance to watch I on the television. Bikamachi manages to get through their first session, but the cameramen along with several producers voice how boring it is that so many idol groups these days are mass-produced, all agreeing to cheer on their clients if it means they can keep their jobs. As a producer counts the girls in, I puts on her idol mask, dazzling the producers and the cameramen, something Aqua notes is the reason I has retained her idol status even after a 6-month hiatus. Like moths drawn to a flame, I's fans watch her perform, but out of nowhere Ruby wakes up, asking why Aqua didn't wake her up to watch their mom perform. Ruby begins praising and complimenting how gorgeous AI is, demanding to know why Aqua didn't wake her up, but Aqua states that he already tried several times. Aqua reveals that he found out Ruby was reborn just like him, having one night found Ruby replying to mean tweets that are attacking I, and has confirmed that Ruby shares the same fate as his own. Aqua feels bad for I, since her children aren't normal children, but at the same time we see the stalker grow furious learning that I had given birth to children. Returning home from work, I asks if Aqua would like to be breastfed, but being embarrassed, Aqua asks to drink out of a bottle instead. Hearing Ruby cry, I rushes to breastfeed Ruby, but Aqua glares at Ruby, believing that she is crossing the line. As Ichigo arrives to fetch I for her idol duties, Aqua demands to know if Ruby was at least a girl in her past life, relieved to hear so. Ruby declares that she'll protect her precious mother for as long as possible, but suddenly orders Aqua to give her space, crying to Miyako that she needs a diaper change. As Miyako changes Ruby's diapers, she reveals that she had married Ichigo, hoping to meet lots of handsome guys, but instead she's stuck babysitting. Having had enough, Miyako declares that she'll sell I's pregnancy story and earn lots of cash, but seeing as Miyako is going around snapping photos of I's pregnancy, Aqua and Ruby agree to team up and stop her. Appearing on a table, Aqua begins speaking out loud, shocking Miyako as she believes she's being filmed for a prank TV show, but upon hearing Ruby declare that Aqua and herself are gods, Miyako stiffens up. Ruby states that I is currently protected by gods, ordering Miyako to conceal I's pregnancy, and in exchange they promise Miyako will get married to a handsome young man, something that inspires Miyako to begin working hard. Pleased by their performance, Aqua asks if Ruby performed in any plays in her past life, but Ruby utters that she was raised in an unusual place. That night, Aqua takes care of Ruby, reminded of Serena who acted just like Ruby, but as Ruby is told to head to bed, Ruby thinks about how Aqua reminds her of the doctor that took care of her. Having been some time since I returned to her idol life, I is disappointed that she is only being paid 200,000 yen per month, something that Miyako agrees is the harsh reality. I declares that she'll work harder if it means she can support and watch Aqua and Ruby grow up, heading off to class, as she leaves the kids in Miyako's care. Ruby asks why idols don't make a lot of money, but Aqua states that idols usually split the money for songs and most income is generated from merchandise. Mad Ruby asks Miyako why their mother isn't getting paid more, but Miyako reveals that the idol business is a cruel world, where most idols are forced into low-paying jobs or even hostess jobs to scrape by. Miyako does admit that Bikamachi is an outlier when it comes to idol groups, but this is mainly because of I herself, but even though I is a top-class idol, her influence doesn't extend outside the idol sphere. Taking a break from practice, I gets hit by a mean comment accusing I of being fake, but Ai soldiers on to her next mini-concert where Ai spots that Miyako has bought her children to cheer her on. Aqua and Ruby accidentally draw attention to themselves during the concert, but luckily nothing comes out of two random kids appearing at Ai's concert. With some more time passing, Ruby continues to cling onto Ai, whilst Aqua attempts to keep their rebirths a secret, but Ai does find it strange how her kids are capable of perfect speech. Check out one of our other videos on the screen or in the info card above. Subscribe, like and comment.